Halloween fun. Pick up some spooky decorations at Walgreens. Just $7.99 each. Scary sound-activated Halloween figures, battery-operated pirate skull, witches, skeletons, and more. Stock up on Halloween candy, too. Walgreens has a wide selection of treats and goodies of all kinds. And it's time to order your holiday photo greeting cards. Put your favorite photo on any of 6 beautiful designs. All orders include a free marker pen. Treat yourself to savings this week at Walgreens.
Have a happy and safe Halloween from us here at CKVR.
CKVR is proud to present Fearless Vampire Killers.
Coming up not too far from now is Halloween. So how about if we take a look at my first book and take a look at some of the things that you can do for Halloween. Now, here, what do we have here? Looks like a chief. That's a pretty easy costume to make. And what else do we have here? We have a prince. Looks like a prince. And
Saturday, the week before Halloween special. All that in Halloween horror.
Now that's scary.
We continue now with Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Beetlejuice, the ghost with the most. This Saturday is Halloween, so get into the spirit and join our special celebration. Don't miss any of the other Universal Studios classic monsters here for Spectacular Saturday all morning long. This Saturday here on Fox.
It's the official year of Halloween, and just what an adult party needs to be a Halloween success. What? You don't believe me? What do you need, like a sign from above?
Be sure to visit this display wherever you buy yours, right?
And it's just perfect for when Prince got in. See what I mean?
Witches see evidence of maybe more than myths.
I used blood to ensure my immortality.
Friday, beginning at 8 on Fox 5.
Tonight is Halloween at The Simpsons.
Behold mighty Caesar in all his glory.
And all 2 episodes.
Happy Halloween. Join us if you dare. On USA.
Good afternoon and welcome to TNT Shriek. Movies guaranteed to make you
Halloween with the Addams Family, followed by Fright Night here on CBS.
This week on Snake, it's 2 straight hours. Are you afraid of the dark? 2 straight hours of spine-tingling screams, raising chills, mysterious doors opening, ominous faces, cryptic messages, calls for help from outside, and a taste of the supernatural. And if this doesn't put you in a Halloween spirit, nothing will. So take a seat on the big iron couch and snip this Saturday night.
Next, the Magical World of Disney presents a special Halloween season double feature, A Disney Halloween, immediately followed by Tim Burton's Frankenweenie. It's a tribute to John.
Great costumes, huh? Okay, I knew that.
From everyone at the Disney Afternoon, have a safe and happy Halloween.
This costume is stuff found on the floor of the B train. How are you? Are you having fun tonight? What's your name?
Lindsay.
Now, when it comes to Halloween,
Hollywood is in a league of its own. NBC's George Lewis.
Hey, kids, how'd you like to be the first one on your block to be dipped in a vat of acid?
What kind of pumpkin are you looking for?
The big book.
New Halloween Panic 92, Sunday, October 25th, live on pay-per-view.
Can creatures and kids say Halloween from Rhea Perlman and Rich Paul? The Halloween on a spook.
They're gearing up for Halloween at the Theatrical Shop in West Des Moines. For Halloween parties and outfitting the youngsters, the Theatrical Shop provides specialized, ready-made costumes to rent or buy. Choose from a wide variety of materials and accessories to create your own costume or take advantage of the custom costume shop for real novelty. Call or stop in now to reserve your favorite costume. The Theatrical Shop in West Des Moines. Our prices won't scare you away.
We used to dress up, but 6. When people reach a certain age, they generally find it time to stop dressing up like idiots and start acting like responsible adults.
Who took the missing pet? The clues are right here in the Clue Junior game. Who Where and which pet was nabbed?
Georgie Green has a kitty in the Wick store.
Case closed. The Clue Junior game.
Dunkin' Donuts is proud to announce we've created a monster. Introducing these hauntingly delicious minis for Halloween. Minis are a fraction the size of our regular donuts, with a taste so great they'll attract very interesting guests to your Halloween parties.
More sprinkles!
Casper's most enjoyable cartoons. Casper's Halloween.
Here's some candy for.
Practice any way you want.
Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
Dress any way you want.
Trick or treat.
Sit any way you want. Just make sure you answer.
Trick or treat.
Nick or Treat is brought to you by McDonald's and Amazing Fruit Gummy Bears.
And the place where only kids win.
Nickelodeon!
Martin throws a Halloween party.
Come on, we're gonna have a seance.
Oh, no, we're not.
And discovers his house is haunted.
What is that knocking?
See, I don't know. It ain't opportunity.
It's a night of screams.
We come for you, Martin.
Oh, man. Can we all just get along?
On an all-new Martin. Next.
I can prove I'm Hammer. Here's my driver license. Look right here.
It doesn't say Hammer. It says Sally Burrell. I got the afro blonde.
Blowout style and all that. Look, if I wasn't Hammer, could I do this?
Halloween week, you can run, but you can't hide, because TNT is gonna get you. With movies so horrible, you'll be asking,
Are you mad?
with a weirder than weird 100%.
Weird.
And with a Halloween night monster vision that you can really sink your teeth into.
Oh my God, don't stop now!
Halloween.
This Halloween, the Three Stooges will show you how to handle a ghost.
Let's get the heck out of here.
Ghost Handling 101 with the Three Stooges. Tonight at 9:35 Eastern on TBN.
An ancient creature comes back to stop time. Find out if the real Ghostbusters can stop him. The Halloween fun continues on USA next.
What's all the ruckus?
And now, it's time for a Disney Halloween.
Nick's calling 2,500 kids all this week during the Ozone and all morning on Halloween. Answer, and you'll win a glow-in-the-dark Nick t-shirt, $5 in gift certificates to McDonald's, and a package of Amazing Fruit Gummy Bears. Nick doesn't care how you sit, what you wear, who you scare. Just make sure you answer.
Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
Brought to you by McDonald's and Amazing Fruit Gummy Bears and
Nickelodeon!
It's a costume that's sure to ring a bell with every small appliance owner. It's the defective GE toaster. There you go.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. A Francis Ford Coppola film. Rated R. At theaters Friday the 13th of November.
What? No dip?
For a really great Halloween, pick up tons of Pepsi and Doritos.
To costume, the most frighteningly wonderful makeup, and accessories that will knock your eyes out. All this plus everything you need for your party.
Halloween at Laverdius. It's not just for kids anymore.
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this story The Tale of the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
On Alto 5, Hammer spins his magic. It's a Hammer Halloween, and it's the scariest empty nest ever. I'm a doctor. Skeletons don't scare me. A show so scary it sends Dreyfus to the nurses.
He howls for you. I'm flattered.
NBC Halloween Saturday.
Steve Barry from Fox 17, and this is my buddy Frank and my other buddy Frank, inviting you to look for the Gotta Have a Monster Bash display at all participating Central Iowa Fairway stores. Stock up on Pepsi and snack food from Frito-Lay for your Halloween party and register to win one of 4 trips for 2 to Universal Studios in Orlando or Hollywood.
Get ready for those ghosts and goblins with Nielsen chocolate bars. The 12-pack is just $1.79 at Herbie's.
At Herbie's, day in, day out, we guarantee lowest prices.
Herbie saves you more.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, man. I'm really sorry for the delay, guys, for the late start. And if things look a little fuzzy, I do apologize for that. My internet is acting very, very wonky right now, and I don't know why. It is not even an internal issue. It's like I live out in the sticks, and I don't know what's going on out there, but something is interfering, and it's kind of messing with everything, but it seems to be coming through okay for now. Hopefully it's fine. Anyway, guys, welcome. It's good to see everyone. I'm glad everybody's here. It was really nice to see TurtleBoy go live. It was really nice to see him go live on his YouTube channel for the first time since his arrest, since his bullshit arrest. And we're going to continue to go over that bullshit affidavit and discuss some of the stuff on there. I don't know how much more we have to go because there's 70 pages, but I'm kind of reacting to it as I read it. I have not read the entire thing. I read it with you guys. It's usually how I do things. I like to share the experience with you guys. That's normally how I like to do things anyway. And we're also going to be, TurtleBoy is going to be, I think, on Law Made Simple at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I forgot what other channel, but he's going to be on some other channel at 9. So I came on earlier than I normally do for the sake of simply wanting to basically not overlap on those. So because I know that's something you guys are definitely going to want to watch and check out. LTR, thank you. Now, or LTL, LTR, or LTL. I don't know. It's a channel that I have never heard of, I don't think. LTL podcast. Okay, thank you. All right, got it. Thank you, guys. And yeah, TurtleBoy had a great stream last night. That was to quote him, to quote his response to these cucks that are trying to intimidate him by charging him with intimidation, ironically. I believe he said he's not scared, like we heard him say on the footsteps of the courthouse. And he also said, quote, "Daddy came to fuck," which had me laughing. I loved it. I thought it was really funny. So and it's just, yeah. I there were so many people that were telling me when I started talking about this, mate, they're like, you and TurtleBoy would really get along. And I more and more I'm seeing why people are saying that. So we are going to continue to go over this. And hopefully my internet doesn't act up too much. So we're going to go over, I at one point it starts to talk about here a video which we're going to review. I don't know how much of it we're going to review. Let me see how long this is. It's 2 hours. So I don't really know. We might spend the whole stream on that one video. Who knows? But it's the next thing brought up in this statement of bullshit. And it's the next thing that's brought up. So I'm going to go ahead and continue reading that. And it's called the Rolling Road Rally, is the video that's pointed out here. And it says Kearney organized and publicized a rolling road rally where protesters would travel to the homes of witnesses involved in Commonwealth versus Reed on Saturday, July 22nd, 2023, at approximately 1200 hours. Kearney departed Shaw's 134 Manhattan Street, I guess. Okay. Norwood, accompanied by a number of motor vehicles. Kearney began a YouTube Live video. YouTube Live allows users to broadcast live videos on the YouTube platform, which can be later saved and distributed on a user's account. At the beginning of the video, Kearney is operating a motor vehicle and stated at least 100 to 200 people are in the caravan of vehicles. He further stated he did not broadcast the locations of the protest prior to the departure of the rolling rally. During the video, Kearney stated the purpose of the rally is to protest a murder cover-up and framing of an innocent woman. He stated some witnesses will be in jail within a year and brags about being able to locate the witnesses wherever they travel. During the duration of the rally, he thanked the other members of the rally for attending. Juliana Nagel, age 25, lives at 78 Highland Street, Canton, with her 2 parents and 2 siblings. Juliana was home with her mother at the time of the protest. Juliana and her brother Ryan were present at 34 Fairview Road and had been interviewed by investigators. When Kearney arrived at 78 Highland Street, he identified the residence as the home of Juliana Nagel. Kearney made a statement to get the attention of the neighbors of Highland Street. He described how O'Keefe was beaten to death at a house where Juliana Nagel was present, which she absolutely was. We know this for a fact. He stated, at any point, Julie Nagel, you can come out. At any point, Julie. Hold on. Let's get into character here. Wait a second. Very funny. This is cute. Yeah. I knew that I would be accumulating a fan club. So yeah, this is gonna get more and more fun, folks, the more that I cover this. So what does he say here? Let's see. Oh yeah. At any point, Julie Nagel, you could come out. At any point, Julie, nothing is stopping you from telling the truth. You know what happened that night. You can't get away with it anymore. Too many people know, and you are going down with them. Nothing is stopping you from coming forward and telling the police what happened. Kearney claims Nagel lied to investigators about her observations the night O'Keefe was killed and is complicit in the cover-up of the murder. And I absolutely agree with this. Kearney stated, "You might as well tell the truth and let the world know what happened. Neighbors, maybe you guys could help us pressure them into this. Julie Nagel was involved, was at the murder of a Boston police officer. She knows what happened, and she is actively involved in the cover-up. She should not be able to walk around town like none of this happened while an innocent woman named Karen Reed suffers the consequence of her silence and complicity. The truth will set you free." Kearney is in front of the residents for approximately 10 minutes. At the conclusion of his speech, he stated the next location is home of Canton Police Department Deputy Chief Thomas Keller. While traveling to the next location, Kearney stated Julie Nagel's house was a good one. They were home. Oh my God. Now that's that right there. There's no timestamp for this, though. It's weird that they never put a timestamp for this, but let's check this out real quick.
909 Washington. 909 Washington Street. All right, here we go. We're off. All right, so welcome, Turtle Riders. We are in the Shaw's Norwood parking lot. We got a whole shitload of people. There's at least like maybe 100, 200 people here. Hard to tell. But it's going to be hard to keep everyone in line, but that's okay. We'll figure it all out. I've given all the itinerary of where we're going, so I didn't want to broadcast it beforehand. We are going to, we're starting at the Albert's new house in Norwood, and then we're going towards Canton. So after that, the first place in Canton we're going to, God damn, I got the heat seat on. Then after that, we're going to, what the hell's Washington? Is this Washington Street up there?
No, Broadway.
Okay. All right, we're going left up here. Okay. So after that, we're going to, where the hell are we going after that? Proctor household is second. So I didn't want to give them too much of a heads up about the order of operations here, but we're going to the Proctors after that. Then
okay, I'm glad there's not that many people in here. I got time. There's not that many people in here. I got time. I love these questions. So those of you who are new to my channel, what I do is I call out people who do things that some might compare to what TurtleBoy does, but there's a big, big difference. There is an absolute difference between what TurtleBoy does and has done versus what Bullhorn Betty does and has done. And I did a few streams back, I actually showed the difference. I absolutely showed the difference. Bullhorn Betty harasses victims' families, missing people's families. This is never okay. Okay. What he is doing is he is putting pressure by publicizing. He's putting pressure on people who are clearly lying on official police statements, clearly lying, and they're hiding behind a badge and they're hiding behind protection of higher ups in that town. And he is putting himself on the front lines and actually technically putting his own life in danger by doing so. This is a very, very big difference. Okay. Bullhorn Betty called out cops, but she called out cops who are actually conducting a on the up and up investigation to find enough evidence to convict a woman for killing her infant child. Okay. She absolutely defamed and trashed a chief of police, and it was not okay to do that. What he's doing is calling out people who clearly lied and are covering up an investigation and basically framing what is clearly an innocent woman of murder. There's too much evidence to dictate that this woman is, I mean, we're beyond the point of creating doubt on whether or not she did it. It's to the point to where it's clear that she didn't do it. Now, it's not clear who did, but it's clear, that John O'Keefe was absolutely in the house at 34 Fairview. He was absolutely inside that house. There is Apple data to prove this. There is a witness statement to prove it. There is plenty. So all you have to do is actually do your homework. And here's the thing. The people who have an issue with what I'm doing, right. And she called a missing person who was missing at the time a maggot-filled bag of bones. She always assumes that people are dead when there's no proof that they're dead. So therefore, people stop looking, which is very dangerous when we're dealing with missing people. What Bullhorn Betty does is just reprehensible in comparison. Same with Jonathan Lee Riches. A lot of people want to compare him to Jonathan Lee Riches. Jonathan Lee Riches is a joke in comparison. This guy does what these people claim to do. This is clearly a cover-up. What's going on with Karen Reed is beyond an injustice. And this is you can't compare what's going on, what she's done and what he's done. You just can't compare. This is why I have no trouble calling this out or calling that out. And I have no trouble explaining, because I'm not what I'm doing here is no different than what I've done in going over Betty and Dolly's dumbass and Jonathan Lee Riches. What I'm doing here is absolutely no different. What I do is I take the facts and I present them to you. Simple. Like I'm showing you the content that TurtleBoy has put out versus what he's being accused of. Okay? Whereas BHB, I put out exactly the content that she has put out. She puts this stuff out as content. I don't paint it to look a certain way. I play the shit, and you guys see it for what it is. This is the same thing as I'm doing here. The difference is the absolute clear difference between their actions and the reasons behind their actions. Yeah, he's totally uncovering major corruption. So him going and having someone at a police department dispatch to get license plate information, what it did was prove that there is absolute unprofessionalism, inappropriate relations going on between a witness and an investigative detective. So all it did was prove what he was doing. He didn't do it to harass. He didn't do it to intimidate. He didn't do it to go, ooh, I'm coming after you. He didn't do it for that. He did it to expose the fact that why is a witness going and hanging out and bonding, according to the affidavit, bonding with the detective's family and the detective? That makes no sense. That's clearly a conflict of interest. Yeah. I mean, and all you have to do is just look at the types of people who are criticizing me for doing this. You just look at their history. That's all you have to do. Just look at their own history. Yeah, the Avon Dispatch. Yes. Just look at their history. That's all you have to do. I mean, these are trash people. So it doesn't concern me what they think, you know, but I could see people who listen to them asking me the question, well, what's the difference? Well, use your eyes. There's a clear difference. I'm explaining the difference every single time I go live.
Types of shit. So a lot of people in Norwood today, packed, peacefully protesting the murder and the sequent cover-up of John O'Keefe and the framing of an innocent woman. So yeah, people are saying stay safe, guys. So unfortunately, the McCabes will definitely not be here. They must have heard about the rolling rally because they took yet another vacation. Never seen a family vacation that much. I mean, I guess I would too if you might be in jail at this time next year. But they're not there because they are in Algonquin, Maine, and we had a couple Turtle Riders sightings up there. I don't know why they think that. I mean, we found you in Aruba. We're gonna find you in Maine,
right?
Out loud. So they saw him.
One might look at it that way too, Greg Tilley. Thank you so much. One might look at it that way too, because yes, I'm absolutely fighting for freedom of speech, and these are people. The other people that I call out are people who hide behind freedom of speech in order to harass. They actually do the things that this man is being accused of that he didn't do, but they actually do them and get away with it. So I call them out because I am absolutely a patriot. And I absolutely believe in our freedoms. And I don't think that it's responsible. And I think it's shitty to exploit our freedoms in order to exploit victims and their families. I never think that that's okay. And that's what I call people out on. And if TurtleBoy was actually doing these things, trust me, I would be calling him out too.
I'm in Maine, and Matt's titties. I'm gonna milk those things. Let me tell you, those are. Jen may wear the pants, but Matt wears the bra. What the fuck is going on here in this town? Yeah, no, holy shit, this is gonna be a mess. Like,
we got like
100 cops.
So he's talking about Matt McCabe. Now, I talked a little bit about that, okay? Because I actually had the theory in trying for me. Trying to figure out, okay, like my pattern of thinking goes a little something like, okay, I know Karen Reed didn't do this, so who did? And how do I try to figure out who did? Well, who had motive? So I tried to figure out motive. What made the most sense to me is that Jennifer McCabe and John O'Keefe seemed to have the closest relationship out of all the people that were in that house with John O'Keefe. She seemed to have the closest relationship to him. I speculated on whether or not it was closer than just a friendship. And if it were, which I could see happening, I'm not saying that were the case because I don't know. I don't have any facts to back that up. I only have enough facts to speculate on it simply because their kids played together. There were several phone calls incoming and outgoing between Jennifer McCabe and John O'Keefe, and they were all deleted. The text messages were not, but the phone calls were. And the way that I looked at it was, well, maybe Matt got jealous. Maybe Matt felt insecure about the relationship between Jen and John. And everyone was drinking. They're in the house, and things got a little out of hand, and Matt lost it and picked a fight with John. Now, that's what made the most sense to me. I'm still not completely dismissing that, but when TurtleBoy was on here and we were speaking, and I explained this to him, he was very dismissive of it. And I understand, but he was very dismissive, and he was basically saying what he's saying here about Matt McCabe. And he was like, dude, if you met this guy, he basically told me, if you met this guy, you would know exactly what I mean. Like, this guy just doesn't have it in him. He's not the guy who's going to pick a fight with somebody. He is too much of a pussy. So, okay. But still, I'm not completely now. The Colin Albert theory makes just as much sense, if not more. So I'm not dismissing that either. The bottom line is I just have no idea who in that house did anything to John O'Keefe. All I know is that he was in that house, and everyone who was in that house also is saying that he wasn't, and they're all lying, and none of their stories match up, and none of it makes sense. So yeah, pussy is strong. I know, it's a weird analogy. There was a guy that I used to make fun of, some simp for a channel, and and I used to call him labia boy, because he wasn't even an entire pussy. He was just the softest part of one. So that's why I called him labia boy. But that was a long time ago. There's a new labia boy though, but I won't say his name. You all know who I mean.
Guys behind us. All right. So again, I don't know how the hell to plan this out, but we are in downtown Norwood right now. All right. You should write free Karen Reed in front of the towels. It said a 5-minute drive, but I'm like looking at, we are 0.7 miles away from there. Parking's going to be tricky at each of these places, and we're going to have people stuck in lights and stuff like that. It's going to be like a funeral procession, but like I said, if you're in the procession, just remember the order. We're going to Wentworth Road, and then after, well, first we're going to the Alberts, and then we're going to first place in Canton is Wentworth, and then Country Hill, and then 31 Fairview, and then we are going to, where the hell are we going after that? Highland Street.
Okay, and also a warning, folks. Let me also give you guys a fair warning here. This is not something that I really wanted to talk about, but I won't. But I'll touch on it just a little bit. Now that I'm talking about this case, and now that I'm as involved in talking about it as I am, I have channels on YouTube that I made it a point to separate from because they're part of what's known as the drama community. And we don't like each other. And so there's going to be channels that are going to start talking about this case, and they don't have all the facts. They're too lazy to look at all the facts. They're too lazy to look at anything that's actually tangible, and they're too stupid to even comprehend it anyway. But they are going to be talking about this case and talking against TurtleBoy and his actions simply because they don't like me and I'm speaking on in favor of him. So this is going to happen. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. So just use your common sense. Look at the channels and don't let them get to you. Don't even give them. They're just trying to involve themselves because they see me. They see that my audience is growing, and it bothers the shit out of them. And so they're going to try to go the opposition to try to grow based on some sort of rift that is imaginary between us. And it's just not happening because I just don't give a fuck about those people. But don't get sucked into it, folks. Just ignore them. They're stupid. They don't have enough sense to look at the obvious evidence, and just don't even let their stupidity bother you. Just wanted to let you guys in on that. Patty Watson, welcome. New member. Oh my goodness. Oh no, my goodness.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Electra, thank you so much. That is so much for covering this. Okay, thank you so much for covering this in depth. They need to let TurtleBoy speak. I agree. They absolutely do. It is because of his tactics. It is because of his method of doing things that we know as much as we do. This is actually what investigative journalism is what he's doing.
Street, and then we'll figure it out. Okay, so we're going through downtown right now. Okay, I think this is downtown. I assume it's downtown. Man, Norwood's packed. I didn't know Norwood's is like trafficy for a small town. We got some jujitsu over here. All right, so anyway, got a good audience there.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. I mean, Richard, how many people would you say were in that parking lot there?
At least maybe 200.
200, okay. So this should be interesting. I expect an even bigger showing on Tuesday for the hearing, of course, because we're going to be protesting outside starting at 12:15. But it's a beautiful day out today for this. Beautiful day for some peaceful protesting. I'll tell you that much. There'll be no rioting, no looting, nothing like that. This is a peaceful protest. Protesting the murder of
I gotta say, man,
father of two, an adopted father of two.
Today is actually a really beautiful day in Tennessee. Really clear skies and just nice, cool weather. Not cold, not even warm, just cool weather. I mean, lukewarm weather. And I have been enjoying it. I've been walking the dogs and just it's been nice. It's been real nice.
And a Boston police officer by the name of John O'Keefe. And we're also protesting on behalf of Karen Reed, the girlfriend who couldn't attend his funeral or his wake because she was immediately framed for murder by a bunch of assholes. And we are here to protest those assholes today. So that's what we're doing in Norwood and Canton today. So we're going to Norwood first because Brian Albert moved his family here after he decided he's going to put up his family home for sale. And despite the fact that they've lived there for
make sure to subscribe to Tracy Ann Chasing. She has a panel of a couple of other creators that they've been going over all of the facts of the John O'Keefe murder. And I'm talking everything. I think they've done 2 streams so far on it, and there are many more to come because they are going over everything, and I mean everything. And one of a lot of what they were talking about today was the mishandling of evidence. When they recovered John O'Keefe's body, there was like 3 drops of blood in the snow, and they used a neighbor's red Solo plastic cup to put the blood sample in. No CSI showed up for about, I don't know, like 10 hours. No crime scene investigation team shows up for like 10 hours, right? Which is insane. Totally insane. And then I am going to play this, Michael Wilson, I promise. But I also have to add commentary and I have to talk about things too. And this is very important. Just the mishandling of evidence alone should be enough. Should be enough to acquit Karen Reed. Just the mishandling of evidence alone. I mean, any half-assed fucking public defender could totally fucking get her off on that. So, who puts a blood sample from snow in a red Solo plastic cup? Why wouldn't they put it in an actual evidence bag? Why wouldn't they collect it the way that any blood sample is ever collected at a crime scene. It makes no sense. And then when John O'Keefe is in the emergency room and they pronounce him dead, his clothes are just thrown on the floor. Why aren't they in a bag? Why aren't they in an evidence bag? It makes no sense.
Generations, and just going to sell it on a whim as soon, like literally like a couple weeks after being named in court as potential suspects in this for the first time. They had been protected up until then, and that was kind of like the beginning of where we're at now. So they sold their home, and then they moved to this. I guess it's a home. It's like I think it's like a 4-bedroom house, but they don't own it. I assume they're renting it. And but they live there, and we're going there to peacefully protest. So,
and they sold it at a loss, isn't that right?
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, this is going to be fucking tricky. This is going to be tricky. I guess I can park right in front, but I don't know where fuck everyone else is going to park. This guy's got to move up here. Come on, New Hampshire. You got to move up. You're taking up 2 spots. Push up. Yeah, you got to push up. Don't wave. You got to push up. You're taking up 2 parking spots. There we go. There we go. So you can just push up. You don't have to leave. Okay, he's leaving. Like you can just
take
a
green shirt on too.
Yeah, no, it's a turtle rider.
Oh,
it's
like
okay. you can just take the whole fucking spot. You don't have to take 2 spots. Okay. All right. So at the selfie stick. All fancy schmancy now. All right. Let's do it.
Agreed, Greg Tilley. Agreed.
So we're going to go over here. All right. I don't know where people are going to park. You got the itinerary. Oh, there's a parking lot over there? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I could totally see going to the bar and drinking with TurtleBoy for sure. Just not in Canton. That I'm not doing. We're getting into a fight for sure. Oh, man. Yeah, not in Canton. That's never going to happen.
Oh, if you're following us, there's a big parking lot over there. Yep. Yep. Is this thing on? No. All right, we'll wait for people to catch up here. But thank you guys all for coming here today. We got some Google. We got some free Karen Reed shirts, some Holland Italian Cold shirts. Thank you guys for coming. What's going on, everyone? So, people are going to be driving by like, what the hell's going on? So we're here to peacefully protest. So this is the home somewhere here. Hey, what's happening? Yeah. So we are peacefully protesting outside of the home of Brian Albert. We don't know if he's home right now. I don't see his cars here. I don't see his Cadillac. Why don't we follow me around back? We're going to go around back real quick.
Well,
look at the whole car.
That's what bothers me. I mean, how the fuck are you going to mishandle that evidence when it's a cop? The murder of a police officer and the investigation of the murder of a police officer is done so sloppy. It makes no sense how sloppy it's being done. It's so crazy. Right. No crime scene tape, nothing. No crime scene investigative units for like, what, 10 hours? They don't fucking search the house when he's found on the property and Karen Reed saying I didn't do it. Did they even interrogate her? Did they even interview her? Like with a lawyer present or anything? I mean, it's so crazy.
Isn't that cool? So, because this is where they park usually. So we're going to walk back here I do kind of feel bad for the neighbors, but sorry, murderers moved in. So it's unfortunate. You didn't sign up for this, but neither did Karen Reed and neither did John O'Keefe. So what do we got over here? Okay. Yeah, so they're hiding. I guess this is where they fled to. Okay.
Oh my God, dude, look at all those people.
Again, they live somewhere over here. I don't see any of the cars. I know what all the cars look like. One is a Cadillac. One is a Ford. Okay. I'm here. So that's fine. So we're still going to protest and talk for a minute right outside of the front. So thank you guys all again for coming. We got a nice crowd here. So yeah, Brian Albert has fallen on hard times. He literally had to sell his home and move out here to Norwood because his house was literally a crime scene. And he knew, look at that, we got a Justice for John O'Keefe car. Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
And that's interesting. And one of the videos I went over, I think it was yesterday or the day. It was either yesterday or the day before, but he goes to the house across, or he knocks on the door to the house. I don't think he filmed it, but he was explaining how he spoke to the new owner of 34 Fairview, and the woman was really nice and she was aware of the case and everything. But yet she didn't really know about the case because she also, when she bought the house, they didn't tell her that a guy died on the property, which by law they're supposed to do. By law, you have to say that somebody has died there. Like it's against the law for a realtor to not disclose this information, which is incredible.
All right, so I'm giving everyone kind of a chance to park. It's going to be tricky around here with all the people, and we're going through urban environments with a lot of folks, so people catching up on the parking is going to be interesting. It's like a funeral session. Look at all these cars. Everyone's got their hazards on. So anyway, this is the home of Brian Albert. Brian Albert is a Boston.
This is just mind blowing to me that this guy could get that many people behind him because what? He's a fanatic. He's a cult leader psycho. I mean, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Like if a psycho moron could get that many people to rally behind them, then Bullhorn Betty wouldn't be standing out there with fucking two other idiots with bullhorns yelling at nothing and nobody. Like they plan these things and they think that they're going to organize something like what TurtleBoy's doing, and they're saying we're going to Tennessee, we're going to Rogersville, Tennessee, and then nobody comes. nobody shows up. And they're just yelling at a house, and the only people paying attention are like badgers and beavers and hibernating bears. Stray dogs.
Police sergeant who lived in Canton, comes from a very well-connected family. On the day of January 28th, 2022, Brian Albert went to New York City with his friend Brian Higgins, ironically, to go to a funeral for a New York police officer. They doing some drinking. They came back that night, and then they went out. They went to a bar called the Waterfall Bar, where they met up with another Boston police officer. What's happening? Named John O'Keefe. John O'Keefe was dropped off at their house afterwards, after being invited there by a woman named Karen Reed, his girlfriend. She told him, text me when you get inside, but he never did. She waited about 10 minutes, figured things were fine, and left. But things were not fine. While she was literally waiting outside their house on Fairview Road, he was beaten to death. He was being beaten to death inside, or nearly to death, beaten unconscious. And then instead of calling 911, they plotted immediately within minutes to throw him out like he was trash. Around our estimates, around 3:30 to 4 o'clock, they decided to move his body outside. What's happening? After already putting his cell phone outside at around 12:30, they threw his body right on top of it so that he would die from exposure, and he did. He finally was pronounced dead slightly before 8 a.m., and the cover-up began. They got away with it for quite some time. He lived in Canton like nothing had happened. Hey! But things began to get not so comfortable for Brian Albert in October when he was officially listed in court documents as a suspect, as a likely suspect, in an affidavit written by, I believe it was Alan Jackson, Cameron's new attorney. After that, he decided it was time to get the hell out of Canton. They did their floor for the second time in 4 years. They got rid of their floor, probably because it was covered in John's DNA and blood. And then they got rid of their family dog. We still don't know where Chloe is today, if she's dead, if she's alive. All we know is that she bit John's arm, quite obviously, and John is now deceased. So after that, he decided I need to leave Canton. Unfortunately for him, his $950,000 house didn't sell as fast as he wanted to. So he took a $50,000 discount off, and he ended up moving to this place you can see right behind me in close to the center of Norwood. I don't know.
Right, because he has nothing to hide, which is also, you know, why he won't give up his cell phone, because he has nothing to hide.
Why anyone would want to downgrade like that with their family too. Brian Albert Jr. lives here. It's believed that Caitlin Albert lives here. So they thought they could hide. They thought they could come to Norwood and hide, but we found them. So just understand that they can't be here today. So this is Brian Albert's involvement. So the next place we're going to go to now, we're going to be going to Wentworth Road in Canton, the home of Michael Proctor, conflicted state trooper Michael Proctor. And we're going to be protesting peacefully outside of his house as well. So onwards to Canton. Let's go.
Let's do it. I'm telling you, Colin is right idling in his truck.
Is it?
A gray Jeep.
Yep. Oh, is it? How about that? Look at that. Look at this. What? They got a camera in there. Oh, they got a camera. They got a camera. Hey, hey. So they got a camera. I guess the cameras work now. Funny. Oh, excellent.
This is too funny.
How about that? Yeah.
Right. I mean, you notice that he's just speaking through this bullhorn. He's not screaming. He's not screeching. he's not calling people baby killers. Just there's a notable difference.
Who's the guy with the camera rig? You see him?
What's happening?
Nice job, man.
Thank you. Will do. All right, here we go. We're going to Wentworth Road in Canton. Let's plug that in.
Clearly, this community. I mean, this is the community, dude. This is the local community that all they did, all it takes is a simple, just a few days of thumbing through evidence, thumbing through court documents and statements. That's all it takes. And this whole, this is a community of people that have done this and are absolutely in support of what TurtleBoy is doing, of exposing this. I mean, you think Boston is just going to turn on cops? You think like people in a suburb of Boston are just going to turn on cops? Their first instinct is going to be to defend. Their first instinct is to look at this guy like he's a fucking radical. but they're not.
Not from around these parts. I'm going to have to use my eye machine here. Wentworth Road. Wentworth Road. Canton. All right, here we go. 15-minute drive. Let's do it. But once we're in Canton, things will be nice and smooth. Okay, no highway. That's good. We're not doing the highway. Man, we are like, dude, this is a posse that we have here. Holy shit. Let's go. Here we go. What a production this is. This is wild. Let's go. Here we go.
Did you see the police car rolling through?
I didn't see any cops.
There was a
Norwood
blacked
cop?
out SUV.
Norwood police?
I don't know who it was, but it was definitely a cop.
I'm sure the Norwood police, just like all the other police departments around here, are like, I talked to the Holden police about this, and they're like, they support this. They support what we're doing. They're disgusted by this. Most police officers I know, who I've talked to, are especially disgusted by this. So the Canton Police Department, just know your brothers in blue aren't really your brothers anymore, as long as you continue to be complicit in this heinous cover-up of a murder.
Right, and that's what's really sad. That's what's really, really sad is now that they searched TurtleBoy's tech, or they're currently searching it, his sources, who some of them may be Canton police officers, now those people are exposed. Those people are exposed to the corrupt cops, to the dirty cops. And what's going to happen is the ratio, as I explained yesterday, the ratio of dirty cops versus good cops is going to become so much greater. And that's a very, very sad thing.
And yeah, so, but good, man, a lot of turtle riders out here, a lot of people with How Long to Die in cold shirts. Just think, like a year ago, no one was paying attention to this case. Now we got like hundreds of people driving from Norwood to Canton right now to protest this absolute injustice. And a lot of people are coming up to me and they're like, so Richie is with me now. We got a good crowd. We got almost 1,000 people watching this on live. Some Saturday afternoon entertainment for sure. Something to do. Man.
Like a news camera guy was there too.
Yeah, was that a news camera guy? It was a very nice camera that guy had there. So that guy, I don't know who he's working for, but I've definitely seen some media here. There are reporters here that I've spoken to in the past, and we'll see what happens. So I believe this road takes us to Canton. So we're going to Canton, Mass now. And next stop, the Proctor household. So I got a lot to say about him, obviously. He's the biggest asshole. He really is. He's the most, of all these people, he might be the most evil. And that includes Brian Albert.
Right. Sweet Crazy. The purpose was absolutely to shut him up. But what it did is the Streisand effect took place. And if you don't know what the Streisand effect is, basically it is when the purpose is to do something, but ends up having the opposite effect. It ends up the purpose, the action ends up blowing up in the opposite direction. Ends up having the opposite effect. And that's exactly what happened. Now TurtleBoy is just louder. Now he has more people speaking on his behalf and speaking up about this case. And showing the mishandling of evidence, showing the bias and the unprofessionalism from the investigators, and the straight lies by the people who were in that house that night. So Yeah. So now, like I said, he's even louder. He's got way more attention on him. He's already got documentary filmmakers coming to him to make a documentary in regards to all of this. He's already planning to write a book. I mean, this is the effect. What they did was the opposite of what they intended to do. It had the opposite effect of what they intended.
And Colin, like, I really think him more than anything. Like, what? Okay, so the other people like fucked up John, right? They killed John.
Lorena, thank you so much for the Venmo. I appreciate that.
And that's what they did was awful, heinous. Okay. Michael Proctor's crimes are not only against John, but also against Karen. Like, the almost joy he has in arresting this woman and charging her and framing her. Like, he just does not give a fuck. This is a guy who has 2 kids himself, 2 little boys, who realizes he's risking everything, his job, his freedom, everything he's worked for his whole life. For what? For what? To impress a bunch of assholes, to show them, like, I can be corrupt too. I can help you guys when you're out in the jam too. Okay. It's one thing to look the other way. If we've all seen this before. Like, cops drive drunk and then they hit a fucking pole or some shit. Like, it's happened a million times. Cops do something bad and then it gets covered up, right? But like, you hit a pole, okay, nobody died, nobody got hurt, and you're not like framing a pole for that. Like, nobody goes to, an innocent person doesn't go to jail for that. Whereas there's a dead body, so somebody has to be accountable for that. And so I just don't understand how they can sleep at night knowing, and how soulless Proctor is, knowing that he's framing this innocent woman and sending her to jail potentially for the rest of her life over something that he knows she didn't do. Like, what would be his plan if she was convicted? How are you going to sleep at night? Like, how quickly would he be forgotten about this? How quickly would he have just moved on with his life? Because that's clearly his plan. It's not like some, Edgar Allan Poe Telltale Heart shit here. Like, he was not going to be bothered by this at all. It clearly doesn't bother him in the least. Like, and it just shows you how soulless this guy is. And he thinks he's badass. This guy, he beats off to like himself in the mirror. He's like, I'm so fucking hot. I do CrossFit. I'm Michael fucking Proctor. I'm a climber in the Massachusetts State Police. I got on in 2014. Look at me now. I'm already the lead detective for the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. When Michael Morrissey needs something done, he calls me. I'm Michael fucking Proctor. I'm not even 40. I'm bald. I have to shave my fucking head because I have such a horrible receding hairline, but I'm still the man. And I still got, I got a little wife there that's got my back and 2 strapping young boys, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. And it just doesn't bother him that Karen Reed's a human being and that she's not evil. Like, I couldn't understand, but like, it would make it a little more.
Well, see, I love this. Like, Heidi Costa is making a good point here. Proctor has definitely done this before. It was way too easy for him to do this. I'm conflicted on that theory because he did it so sloppy. You know what I mean? Like, he just did it so sloppy. I mean, I don't think that he expected. I mean, if he's done it before, then no questions were ever asked. It was just like, okay, we're doing this again. And it just wasn't a high profile situation. But now that it's a high profile situation, we're seeing that he's not good at cover-ups. He's terrible at it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so sloppy. There are so many mistakes. Like, I mean, we're talking about like a statement that he took from Ryan Nagel, and then yet they plant these taillight pieces under John O'Keefe's body. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it's his evidence that is conflicting. It's his own evidence that he's collected that is that's conflicting. It makes no sense.
more sense if Karen Reed was like some crackhead with a long and documented criminal history where they could justify it and say, well, you know what? She was going to jail anyway, and she's a piece of shit anyway, so kind of fuck her. But Karen Reed was not that person.
See, that's
Karen
a great
Reed was
point.
a contributing, law-abiding member.
See, that's a great point, Gregor Smith. Someone who has never had any accountability in their lives are sloppy like this. He never thought anyone would ever challenge him. Right. I mean, that goes to the entire narcissistic theory that TurtleBoy just stated. I mean, somebody that narcissistic is not going to see what they're doing as mistakes. They're just going to do things expecting no consequences. They're just going to do things. They act like they walk between the raindrops. You know, it's insane.
Of society who comes from a really nice family that would miss her a lot. I don't know if it's because she doesn't have any kids that makes it like easier for them to be like, fuck her. You know, she's not leaving them behind, but she comes from a really good family, and her brother and her two parents are there every court hearing. They have her back for everything because they love their daughter. I mean, she might be 43, but you never stop loving your daughter because that's your kid, and you're gonna like, I don't care how old my daughter gets. I'm always going to have her back. And I would do the same thing that Mr. Reed is doing with this and defending his daughter. And you could just tell, like, that guy, if you've ever seen Karen's dad at any of these hearings, like, he looks pissed.
Yeah.
He looks angry. Like, he's just like, fuck these people. Like, you're not going to do this to my daughter. Like, that's the kind of guy that's like, he ain't going to let this happen to his kid, period. Like, end of story. So, and he's like, especially with some shit-brained punk like Michael Proctor. That's what he is, a punk. Yeah, the Norwood police. I mean, I have no beef with them. Nicholas Guarino used to be a Norwood police officer, and obviously Nicholas Guarino.
Yeah, like, why is such a key witness? I have to keep asking this question. Why does a guy like Michael Proctor think that it's somehow going to go unnoticed that a key witness in a high-profile investigation is hanging out at his house with his wife? I mean, what the fuck? I mean, only somebody who thinks that they're untouchable would be that fucking brazen to do that. It makes no sense.
I guess he's in on the cover up. I mean, he submitted extraction records from Jen McCabe's cell phone that were incomplete. He claimed that those he handed over. So Jen McCabe's a moron. She handed over a freaking phone when she didn't have to. No one asked her to hand over a phone. She just thought like, oh, I'll just delete everything and then they'll never find it. And then I'll hand over a phone. And I got nothing to hide. We're entering Canton. Excellent to see here. So yeah, she thought that she would just delete all that shit and they'd never find her, but they did.
They probably told her just delete whatever you don't want to be found and we won't find it, right?
Yeah, well, Nicholas Guarino was in charge of I guess he's their forensic guy. He's just some cop. And he handed over to the defense, the full extraction report, but there was nothing incriminating there. And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to hire, luckily she hired Alan Jackson. It's like, we're going to get our own guy. I got another guy that can do this, who is like actually does this for a living, owns a company that does this, is like renowned, like people, like one of the best of the best, not some fucking Norwood cop. Like that's what Nicholas Guarino is. He's a fucking cop. And so they hand it over and they go through her phone and they find.
Bobby Swain has a good question here. Bobby Swain is asking, when they are all corrupt, how does TurtleBoy beat the charges that he's charged with? Remember, they have no rules. They do whatever they want, as fucked up as that sounds. Yeah, true. But the thing is it's not about locking him up. I don't think that they're counting on getting a conviction. I think the purpose of it was simply to intimidate. To intimidate. Two reasons why they brought TurtleBoy up on these charges. To intimidate him and scare him, to shut him up. Excuse me. A, to intimidate him and shut him up, and B, to get his tech and find out who his sources are so they could shut them up, so they can intimidate those sources and shut them up. That was the purpose behind charging him with the ridiculous charges that he's charged with. So it's not, I don't think that they even plan on getting a conviction. Like any fucking half-assed fucking public defender can absolutely get those charges dismissed. I mean, they're ridiculous. Like, I'm doing it right now. I'm disproving their case. In the last 3 live streams, I have thoroughly, repeatedly disproven Pass the Gravy Morrissey's case against him. That's indisputable. I'm doing it. I have a fucking GED, dude. I never took the bar exam. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's easy. There's no way that fat fuck Morrissey has any intention or delusions that he's actually going to get those charges to stick. I mean, there's no way that anybody who went to law school thinks that that's actually going to happen. So far, nobody, I haven't heard one attorney talking about this case on YouTube who has a YouTube channel say that those charges could stick. I haven't seen one go, oh, well, I haven't seen any. All I've seen are idiots who have no knowledge of the Karen Reed, John O'Keefe case, spouting out their bullshit opinions based on nothing because they did no research. You got this Pat Brown fucking idiot who calls herself a criminal profiler, and she's not. I mean, she says she's one. She plays one on TV, but she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. And then you've got Jennifer Coffendorfer, who clearly has an agenda. I mean, she was in contact with Morrissey prior to him being arrested. So she actually had something to do with TurtleBoy's charges. And yet she still has no fucking idea what she's talking about. She's a former FBI agent, and she has no fucking idea what she's talking about when it comes to the Karen Reed case. None. Greg Tilley, exactly. There's no. It's throwing shit at a wall to see if it sticks, to see which sticks. That's it. I mean, this is, yeah, it was all about intimidation.
You find all types of shit, like a deleted 227 Google search and a whole bunch of deleted phone calls, including 2 calls at 6:07 and 6:08 to Nicole Albert, which were answered. I believe it says answered. That means somebody answered it. It means it's not a voicemail, Adam Lally, no matter what that asshole tells you. And yeah, so we are pulling on to Chapman now, I believe this is. Fairview Road is off of this street, but that is our 3rd stop in Canton. The first place we're going to.
Yeah, I've never seen a person with a law enforcement background post so much asinine, clueless bullshit all over the internet as I've seen Jennifer Coffendorfer do on Twitter. I've never seen that before. The level of just nonsense that she posts on Twitter is insane to me.
And then we'll be going to the McCabe household. I'm sure they all know we're in town. I've yet to see a Canton cop. So people aren't worried. They're going to be, what are they going to do? They're not doing anything. Like, come on. They're like, stop it. So this is but you know, I got my license. I'm going the speed limit. I got my registration. I'm ready to rock. So
it was like 2, maybe 3 inches of snow, dude. You're not going to miss that guy in the snow, dude. You're not going to miss that guy in that snow. Like, he's fucking 6 feet tall. You know, he wears like a size 11, size 12 shoe. You know what I mean? Like his feet are sticking up. He's wearing black and gray. Like, you're not going to miss that. It's not that big of a yard.
Not worried about anything like that. So
this car is mint, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Richie's liking the ride. It's a pleasure driving this car. I'm not gonna lie. It's got great fuel mileage on it. I'm very happy.
Like
it's driving a spaceship. Yeah, the screen's amazing. Like, I got in the car. I was gonna get a 2020 that had like, it was cheaper obviously, and it had like 20,000 miles on
Right.
it. And then,
Which if that's the case, Debbie Sunshine, it doesn't make her an idiot. It makes her corrupt. It makes her just as corrupt as the other assholes. I mean, right, Sleuthy Goosey. I mean, he's over 200 pounds. If there was 6 inches of snow, you'd still see him. You'd still fucking see him. So, like, that's the thing, is either Jennifer Koffendorfer is either a fucking moron, or she's just plain shitty and corrupt, or both. Or both.
this car was in the showroom, and I sat in it, and I'm like, oh, I almost came in my pants. It was like, oh my god.
I'm gonna go with
that
both.
screen, dude.
I can
Like,
see
oh
why.
my god.
Sick.
Yeah. So, anyway, we just went by Fairview Road, so we will be back there. We will be back there, and they would have been coming on that night. The fastest way would have been this way, and then take a right. But she got, and they not lost. Like, they went away that was like 30 seconds to a minute longer. And again, Richie and I recreated this about 2 months ago, and we went very slowly because there was snowing that night. And we did all the timing. They left at 12:11, saw how many minutes it would take. It took 7 to 8 minutes to get there. So we know that John got there right around 12:20.
Koffendorfer reminds me of like a woman who's fucking spooked by semen. Ew, ew, ew. Oh my god.
At the latest. So any lie from Adam Lally that he's telling you that he got there at a different time is bogus. So,
and Jen's texts later were bogus, right?
Yeah, so Jen's texts were all bogus. So we are outside of the temple. They love to bring up this temple. So it's Saturday. It's temple's in business. So this is the temple where it's mentioned a few times in the core records about how they picked up Karen's car. I think at like 12:17 around there, they picked up her car right here, which only proves that she was on her way. So they would have come down this way where we're going now, and they would have taken a left on Dedham Street up here. I know this freaking town too well by now. Like, I know my way around Canton, like the back of my hand. Like, I could tell you where all these people live in town, and we're gonna visit their homes today. We're gonna visit some new homes today that we haven't been to. And some people might say that this is, you shouldn't be going to people's homes. Again, we're going to be respectful of. We're not going to trespass. We're not going to step on their property, but we will peacefully protest outside of their homes because you don't, like, I'm a award-winning journalist. I can come to your home and ask you questions. Like, that's what the media does. And if you are home, I do have some questions. Now, the thing about this was you have to announce that you're doing it. And there's Dedham Street, by the way. That's where they went down to get there. But you got to let them know. So it gives them time to get the hell out of Dodge, which is fine. Because I don't really care if I see them or not.
So,
this is some
right there. Let's listen to that again. So what he's basically saying here, let me walk you through it before I play it again. What he's basically saying here is he's following the law. He's saying, okay, if you're going to show up as a member of the press, as a journalist, you got to let them know you're coming to ask them questions. And it gives them time to leave, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So even though he knows that they're probably not going to be home when he shows up, because they're gonna avoid him, they're gonna dodge him, you know, but he's still following the law. He's going by his First Amendment rights, and he's not stepping outside of that.
Award-winning journalists, I can come to your home and ask you questions. Like, that's what the media does. And if you are home, I do have some questions. Now, the thing about this was you have to announce that you're doing it. And there's Dedham Street, by the way. That's where they went down to get there. But you got to let them know. So it gives them time to get the hell out of Dodge, which is fine. Because I don't really care if I see them or not. This is a symbolic thing that we're doing right now. Okay. All right, so we are about to pass the Canton Police Department there on the left. We will be finishing our protest there. They have put up barricades in the back so you can't park there. On the right is 1473 Washington Street, home of Tim Albert and Bernie Albert, and formerly Brian Albert, and formerly Jen McCabe, because these people just sell homes to each other, which is apparently completely normal in town. Like, you just sell homes to your friends, hang out with your friends, have sex with your friends, whatever. Okay, marry them. Everybody wants to marry an Albert. Unfortunately, there's only 6. So you got to get them quick, ladies. You know, Jen had to settle for McCabe. So, and we saw what those titties look like. But okay, so we are about half a mile from Wentworth Road,
So just Jake
street where conflicted state trooper Michael Proctor lives on. We will be peacefully protesting outside momentarily and talking about his involvement in the cover-up. He was really the most pivotal one. Without Michael Proctor, like he's the MVP. If you are an Albert, like nobody is more valuable to you than him. So, because without him, none of this happens. Maybe it does. I don't know. But without him, like, he really went out of his way to protect so many people. Hey, we got Turtle Riders lining the streets. Okay, here we go.
I mean, that's
turning on to
that's so telling that this whole community
did I put this
is behind him and what he's doing. That's
all right, so here we
telling.
are. Oh, we got a car there outside the Proctor home. So I don't know where everyone's going to park. They have a private property sign up. They knew, there's a fucking lemonade stand. You got to be kidding me.
They're going to sell a lot of lemonade.
Yeah, okay. So we are going to pull up right along the edge here. All right. And we'll see what happens. Let's do it. Get the megaphone. Who? Proctor? Yep. He got out of Dodge? All right.
Proctor was like, I'm out.
There he is. All right. So we are here. Everyone's coming in. Look at all these people. Look at all these people. Look at all the cars. This is the most traffic this road has ever gotten. Man, the neighbors need to do something about their lawn. Holy cow. Holy cow. Okay. We got, if you're over here, please hit up the lemonade stand. There's some nice children over there selling lemonade. It looks delicious. Turtle Riders are helping them out.
Exactly.
First of all, I don't know if those kids did this on purpose, but if they did, well done, kids. Yeah. That is entrepreneurial right there. Like, I am going to set up a lemonade stand on the day of the TurtleBoy rolling rally. That is ingenious. God bless those children. Feel free to support them. Hello. What's happening? There we go. All right. So, all right, welcome everybody. We'll let people rolling in here. Like I said, it's going to be difficult because we're in residential areas, but this is the home of conflicted state trooper Michael Proctor. It appears as if does he still? Oh, you notice he's got a turtle crossing thing there. he put that up. Some people thought that a Turtle Rider put that up, and we're now told that he put that up, and that's kind of speaks to how arrogant he is, that he's almost like mocking us. They do have a private property sign now, which is smart because I've knocked on his door a couple weeks ago, and he's a state trooper, so he knows that if he puts that up, then we cannot step on his property, which is fine. It also appears as if they've taken down the thin blue line flag, which is good because Michael Proctor doesn't care about murdered police officers who sacrificed their lives, and because he covered one up. Now he pretends to.
No, Cammy, he has a megaphone. Okay.
Because he arrested and charged a woman that not only is factually innocent, but that he knows is factually innocent. And I don't understand how any person can put someone in a box for the rest of their life knowing that that person did nothing wrong. Like the amount of ways that the man who lives inside this house with his lovely family, well, except for his wife, but for the rest of half of his family's lovely at least. The man who lives in this house knows that Karen Reed did not kill John O'Keefe. And he knows that he wants to protect all sorts of Canton people who were there that night, which is why he did the unprecedented move of spelling wrong the names of at least 5 people who were in the house that night. If there was one spelling mistake, maybe that could be something. But ask any police officer who's ever filled out a report. They got to get spelling right. Spelling, date of birth. Those are 2 things that they always get right on everything. He spelled the names wrong of Sarah Levinson, who we did not even know was inside the house until 9 months after the fact. Julie Nagel. Caitlin Albert, who literally lived there. He got that one wrong. That was a tough one. He also got wrong Emily Fabiano. And, Catherine Duty. He got her first and last name wrong. So she got the 2-for-1 special. And if you're unfamiliar with Canton, the Duty name, unfortunately, is a big name around here. It's an unfortunate name. But the Duties, Charles Duty was the fire chief at the time and is now the town administrator. And they're obviously hiding things. He played dumb with me when I confronted him and I asked if his daughter was there. Oh, that's what they told me. Really? You didn't ask your daughter about that time she was at a murder scene? Okay, sure thing, Charles. But Michael Proctor planted taillight evidence. There's no real evidence in this trial. The only things they got on her is, I hit him, which the only people saying they heard that are all friends of Jen McCabe or Jen McCabe herself. And the taillight evidence, which somehow the Canton Police Department missed. Somehow they missed it when there was only an inch of snow on the ground, and they brought their leaf blower out and their solo cups, and they missed the taillight everywhere and the shoe. The guy is missing a shoe, and they don't think to ask, gee, I wonder where his other shoe is. Maybe.
Who fucking does that, bro? Like, show me any murder investigation where the investigators bust out a leaf blower on the crime scene. Like, historically, never. Fucking never. I'm willing to bet money. There's no fucking way in any other case ever in the history of fucking murder investigations that a fucking leaf blower was busted out by an investigator going, hold on, let me just blow away any possible evidence that might convict or exonerate somebody. Fucking putting blood samples in a fucking solo cup. What? What? This is like, dude, if you're defending the prosecution or the investigators in this case, you are fucking retarded. I'm sorry. You're just fucking dumb, dude. Like, there's no, I mean, you're either ignorant, retarded, or a fucking ignorant retard. I mean, there's no fucking other way to put it.
Maybe it's in that house where the body is laying, and they didn't go inside. They didn't do any of that. How Michael Proctor became the detective on this case is still unknown. But we know that Michael Proctor is good friends, very good friends, his family, with the Chris Albert family particularly. And if you're friends with Chris Albert and you're going to weddings with Jill Daniels and Colin Albert and all these people, if you've known Colin Albert since you were a child, of course, well, not of course, I still wouldn't do it, but it's understandable that he would want to protect Colin because he's got his whole life in front of him. And maybe he thought it was a mistake. There was an accident that Colin did this. I don't know. So he figured I'll just cover up for him. But the problem covering up for murders is not only does John O'Keefe not get justice, but somebody has to go to jail for it. And he had no problem framing an innocent woman, a woman he knew to be innocent, which is why he went to Dighton at 2:30 in the afternoon, because we know from the call logs that he called the Dighton Police Department and asked them to bring a tow, to have her car towed. He said he wasn't even there yet. He says he didn't get there until 4:30, except we have Ring camera footage, which they now claim didn't reset because of daylight savings 3 months after daylight savings happened. And the taillight and the alarm.com footage shows the camera reads car was towed at 4:12 p.m. 4:12 p.m., which left conflicted Detective Trooper Michael Proctor with 1 hour and 18 minutes unobstructed with the car. He could do whatever he wanted with it. Instead of bringing it to a state police barracks, which would be the normal thing to do since the state police were in charge of the investigation, he brought it back to Canton Police Department so they could be closer to the scene of the crime, so we could pull a little Shawshank Redemption and do a little sprinkle of the taillight right where the body was found, and somehow made a fool of the Canton Police Department, who somehow missed all that, and they're okay with that. They're not upset that, oh yeah, this guy's calling you.
Let me give some shout outs to some donations that people made here. So Lorena, I saw that come through, but thank you again. Stacy, I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, those are Venmo, and yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate that.
You're stupid and incompetent, but I guess you'll have to take that one on the chin because you wouldn't want to upset Michael Proctor, would you? So this is Michael Proctor's house. He's a disgrace to police officers everywhere.
Oh, and there's comments. Sorry. Stacy says, thank you for breaking down all these bogus charges. You got it. And Lorena says, thanks for covering TurtleBoy. Hey, it's my pleasure. It's absolutely my pleasure. I don't like bullshit, bro. Okay. Like, let me give you guys a little brief history about me. When I see bullshit, it's not in my DNA to ignore it. I can't do it. It drives me fucking batty, and I can't help it. I have to call it out. And this case is saturated with bullshit, and a woman's life is on the line for it. An innocent woman's life is on the line for it. And now this guy who's simply trying to make sure that justice is met, now he's having charges brought up on him just to fucking scare him and just to scare his sources, just to expose and scare his sources. And yeah, it makes me mad. So it's just not in my DNA to see this shit and not speak up about it. I don't have it in me.
Everywhere he covers up for murderers, and he tries to send people who he knows to be innocent to jail. We need to get rid of cops like him and have more good cops like John O'Keefe. All right, so next we're going to Jen McCabe's, which is like a quarter mile away. So she's not there, but we're still going to go there anyway. All right, let's go. Country Hill Lane. Yeah, Country Hill Lane. Yeah, you'll see us all. Yeah, it's Country Hill Lane, right? That's the name.
Should we walk?
It's Country Hill Lane. Is that what it's called? Country Lane? Yeah, I don't remember the name. Country Lane, yeah, something like that. Oh, we're going by my car.
You said it's less than a mile?
No, it's like probably like half a mile.
Let everybody walking.
I'm jumping in my car. Yeah.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what's up, cadet? How you doing? Nice to see you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Very nice of you.
Now, remember, we're going over the affidavit, and I want to get to the part where he gets to Juliana Nagel's house.
Clear about that. We didn't see any people here.
Now, I don't know whose house this is, but I also want to wrap this up by 7 p.m. So we got about
All right.
20
so
minutes.
We're gonna watch everyone pull up in here. Obviously, not many people here right now, but we got a whole procession behind us, and I guess we'll stand. See, she's got a no trespassing sign, two of them on the line, so they're very clear about that. We know that they are at Agunquit Beach right now. Oh, look, they got a ring camera. Hey guys. Hey Jen. What's going on?
Oh,
We're here. I know
this
you're
is
getting
the
alerts on your
McCabe.
phone in Agunquit, Maine. We got people up there too. So no justice, no peace. Hopefully you're not fearing still. And please try to lay off the sauce when you sexually harass me, Jen, with various pictures of half-naked men. That's kind of weird when you did that. So, all right. So people are starting to stream on in here. Oh, here they come. We got a crew coming up.
No, it's not a date night. So TurtleBoy's actually going to be on Making Law Simple, I think is the name of the channel. And I guys, there's a lot of like YouTube streams that I'd rather watch than be streaming myself. And I'm very interested to see what these attorneys on this channel have to say about TurtleBoy's charges. So I'm very, very fascinated by that. I think that that's going to be some of the most educational insight that we're going to get in regards to TurtleBoy's charges. So I'm interested in watching that. So I want to wrap this up so that I could watch that. And that's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. So let people roll in. Some people just walk. The Proctor household is like literally a quarter mile from the McCabe household, but they don't know each other. We just got a picture. We got a picture of Michael Proctor in 2017 at his sister's house with his niece in the foreground, but in the background, there are the two youngest McCabe children in that picture. But according to Adam Lally, Lunchbox Lally, he actually said this with a straight face, that those are not, the girl in the front is not McCabe's kid. Now we know that. Nobody ever said that the girl in the front was McCabe's kid, but the girls in the back are. And they were in towels too. Normally children don't just walk around in towels, like free-range feral children. They appeared to be, school age, probably like, 7 or 8 years old. I don't think they just wandered into the background and photobombed Michael Proctor at a family event. It obviously involves some sort of pool because, they're in towels. And so Jen McCabe, here we are at the home of Jen and Matthew McCabe and all of their 4 daughters, who I do feel bad for. When I first heard this story and I read about it, I'm like, and I found out that Jen McCabe had kids, I'm like, that's kind of sad. Like, the mother's obviously going to go to jail for this. And it's sad whenever kids are separated from their parents like that. But the more I've learned about Jen McCabe, she doesn't really give a shit about her kids very much. And honestly, her kids need to see mom in jail because the cycle will repeat itself. If they think that they can just live life like this and cover up murders and be involved in stuff like this, then what kind of values are they learning? So if you're unfamiliar with the case, I mean, look at all these fucking... Here we go. Okay. You ever go to a keg party in high school, like in a suburban area, and like way too many people come up and you see this, you're like, oh man, cops are coming. Cops are going to be here real soon over something like this. Like, they're breaking this one up. There's no way. This is too good to be true. That's like what we got here. It's like a road where nobody lives and it's just packed. Like somebody's calling the cops. So anyway, we got rush hour traffic here on a dead end road in Canton. And so Jennifer McCabe pretended to be Karen Reed and John O'Keefe's friend. Her daughter was friends with John O'Keefe's niece We got, oh, sorry. Hi, John McCabe's neighbor. You're free Karen Reed. Are you team Karen Reed? Team Karen Reed. All right. So, anyway, so John McCabe pretended to be friends with John because their kids were friends together and whatever. And then she invited him over, possibly premeditated, knowing what John was going to find in that house. And she invited him over to 34 Fairview Road for an after party and was pretty insistent that they come there. John, within seconds of getting inside the house, was confronted by...
Now, I don't think, now, making things abundantly clear here, folks, he's saying that it's possibly premeditated. He's very careful how he words that. He's very careful how he words that. Possibly premeditated. But I personally don't believe that. I personally don't believe it was premeditated. I don't think that he even believes that, because when he was here and I asked him what he thought happened, he thought that a fight broke out and he was accidentally killed in this fight. The conspiracy, folks, is not in the murder. The conspiracy is in the cover-up. Now, I personally think that now, but I could see why. What I was going to get at is I could see why it's still very possible that she lured him to the house, because why did she delete all of the phone calls between her and John O'Keefe? So, I mean, it's, I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm saying no matter what your theory is, no matter what you speculate, you have to acknowledge the fact that it's absolutely suspicious that she deleted every phone call, incoming or outgoing, to or from John O'Keefe, but not the text messages, just the calls.
By an 18-year-old meathead, a psychopath, who obviously had issues with him.
But she is 100% involved in the cover-up. 100% involved in the cover-up. I'll say that again. Jennifer McCabe is 100% involved in this cover-up, because she Googled how long does it take for a body to die in the cold? How long does it take to die in the cold? Or how long to die in the cold? So she Googled this and then tried to delete it. So, I mean, let's just get real, folks. Now, I don't know if she had anything to do with the murder. I have no idea. But she is absolutely, indisputably involved in the cover-up. Why won't she take the stand? She was friends with John O'Keefe, right? Why is she filing motions to where she doesn't have to testify? Wouldn't she want justice for her friend? Wouldn't she want justice for her friend? You better believe that if I was in the same place where my friend died and I think that somebody did it, and that person is on trial, and I have something to contribute to getting my friend justice, where do I sign? When do I have to be there? Without even thinking about it. I'm there. What do you need me to do? When do I show up for prep for my testimony? It's a no-brainer. Why is she filing motions to not testify in order to get her friend justice?
When they were formerly neighbors, because he would throw beer cans on his lawn and whatnot. And he was immediately beaten in the basement. We know that because his phone pinged inside the house. Something went terribly wrong by 12:29, within minutes. Jennifer McCabe was not even thinking about calling 911. Her first instinct was to cover this up. She called his phone and answered it, knowing that he was unconscious, to make it look like he was still alive. She then texted and called him 6 times between 12:40 and 12:50 a.m. to make it seem like, "Are you coming, John? I'm really worried about you." But she knew exactly where John was. John was bleeding out in the basement. His life could have been saved. She made a conscious choice not to save it. She made a conscious choice not to save his life when she could have. And then she left, gave 2 people a ride home, including one person who lives close to John, so she could go by his house and see if Karen Reed was still awake. And then she got home, and instead of going to bed after a night full of drinking, she decided to Google how long to die in cold, which is a really freaking weird thing to Google at 2:27 if you're not worried about somebody dying in the cold, and if you believe, as you told police, that you thought that John went home. So why would you have to worry? Like, why would that cross your mind at 2:27 a.m.? She then stayed up all night, despite being drunk all day. She was up at 4:53 a.m. when Karen Reed finally called her.
Why.
And literally, she was watching the minutes tick by. Every minute that went by, she felt more and more confident that she was going to get away with it, because it was more and more likely that John would die and not wake up and tell the world what they did to him. Then she filled Karen Reed's mind with poison and lies on the way over, pretending to be her friend, and then told Michael Proctor a bunch of lies. When she spoke with police at Brian Albert's house, she told them something, but apparently it wasn't enough, because she had to call back her good friend Michael Lank at 9 o'clock because she remembered something. She suddenly recalled that Karen Reed said a whole bunch of incriminating stuff in the car. She just remembered it at 9 a.m. He comes back, takes a statement. They hang out there for a couple more hours and then decide to get in the cars during the middle of a blizzard and come over here for the friends and family meeting with Michael Proctor, where they're all interviewed together. No protocols were followed. No tough questions were asked. And as a result, Karen Reed was charged with the murder of John O'Keefe shortly after that. So I just want all of Jim McCabe's neighbors to know, in case they don't already know, the people that live right here at 12, they're cop killers. These are cop killers, folks. These are cop killers that live here.
No, definitely not heroin. Definitely not heroin. If there's alcohol involved, and then there's this paranoia and and all this effort in a cover-up, that's got cocaine written all over it, folks. That's if there's a substance involved besides alcohol. But if there's a substance besides alcohol involved in this, it's definitely cocaine. Guaranteed.
Could have saved John O'Keefe's life than that. Your neighbors are cop killers. They're going to try to live life like nothing has happened, but we're not going to let them do that, because you don't get to kill police officers and fathers and get away with it. And you certainly don't get to frame innocent people who did nothing wrong to you and send them to jail for the rest of their life, simply because you don't want to take responsibility for what your brother-in-law / side piece did. So, again, we got a long line here, so we're going to go on to the next house now. We are going to 78 Highland Street. 78 Highland Street. Let's do it. 78 Highland.
All right. I think that one is
okay. That's fine.
What's the address again?
78 Highlands.
78 Highland.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the Nagel house.
What was that? Oh, nice to meet you, Liz. How are you? All right. So here we are, 78. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So 74. Is this 78? Okay. The brick one? It's a nice house. Oh, looks like people home too. Okay. Oh, I forgot my megaphone. Give me 1 sec. Hold on. We got to get the megaphone. That's fine. We got to let people stroll in here anyway. So we got people rolling in.
I guess they just moved in.
Dude, if I'm in that neighborhood, I'm going, what the fuck is this? What in the fuck is this? Oh yeah, I'm going live as much as possible with this stuff, Heidi Costa.
No, the point is a densely populated street. Let me tell you. Look at this car. Free Karen Reed and the cover up. You love to look at all these cars. Free Karen Reed. You love to see it. You love to see it. Okay. It looks like we got bumper stickers. Love to see it. A lot of gear. Look at all these shirts. All right. So we'll let people roll in here.
Listen, I have accumulated some new followers here. I just want to be very clear, Joe looking. I have accumulated some new followers here. So I'm not going to mute them. I'm not going to mute you. I'm not going to time you out. I'm just letting you know that if you compare this guy to Bullhorn Betty or Dolly Vision or JLR, you are putting yourself in a position for them to respond. So that is you. I mean, make your comments at your own risk, but I'm not shutting anybody up here. Just to let you know, just a heads up.
I guess I feel bad. People keep missing. People are getting here late for other ones. So I'll wait a couple minutes, let people stroll in here. I understand the parking's a bitch around here. It's an I think this is the first rolling rally they've ever had in history of Canton. So they're not up for it. It's kind of weird. I'm kind of creeped out that there's no police. We haven't seen a single Canton police officer. Did you? Okay. Are they in regular cop cars? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought for sure that they would be like following us, making sure things fine. I think that. Oh, they are. Oh, okay. Oh, this is 76. Okay, we're going to 78. Sorry, 76. Oh, okay. So we're going to 78. There are. Do they have cameras here? So they covered up the number. Really, I wonder why they did that. Okay, that's fine. No, this is Julie Nagel's house. This is Julie Nagel's house. Okay. Yes, he could. All right. So we'll let people stroll on in here. We are approaching the home right now. This is a really densely populated area. I guess they're home because we didn't tip them off that we were coming, or else they would have pulled a McCabe and gone to a gunquit. But we are outside the home of Julie Nagel. Julie Nagel, at first I thought that, maybe she's not that much of a part of it. Maybe she was just there. Obviously, she didn't do it. I mean, she's not going to beat and kill John O'Keefe. That doesn't make any sense. But she is the girlfriend of Brian Albert's oldest son, Brian Albert Jr. And by the way, what is up with the Alberts? Like, does everyone have to name their oldest son after themselves? Is that like a requirement in the Albert family? Apparently, you get the crest. It's literally a cult. So we are. Look at all the people here. Holy cow! People are still walking in here. So we're letting people catch up. That was a request. So we're going to wait a couple minutes before talking about what happened there. But thank everybody for coming out today. We really appreciate this. I'm sure Karen, if she's watching right now, appreciate seeing all the support here, because like a year or so ago, she was kind of out by herself. Yeah.
Oh yeah, White Rabbits, absolutely. I have I have tons of Battery Betty content. Tons and tons and tons. All you have to do is just go through it. Yeah. If you're interested, yeah. She's really fun to make fun of. The contrast between her and this guy are, yeah.
She was being charged with murder, and she knew that these powerful institutions had framed her, had killed her boyfriend of 2 years, had turned his 2 children against her, had lied to them. And, we can't underestimate what that woman has been through mentally, not only being charged. I mean, I think she motivates me. I mean, I've been through some tough times myself, but sometimes I'm like, well, at least I'm not being framed for murder. So I got that going for me. And I don't know how I'd wake up every day if I was her and go on with life. She's stronger than me. She's probably the strongest woman I've ever encountered. For her to not only to just, I mean, how she has the strength to wake up every day really is a miracle. But I think, and I'm sure that seeing all this support all of a sudden for this has completely changed her mentality, her mental health, let her know that, you know, all these people have your back. No one's going to let you go to jail for this. No one's going to let you be, you're not going to be convicted. There's a 0.0% chance that you are going to jail for this, which is really only half of the problem. Like getting the charges dropped for Karen Reed or having her acquitted is really only solving half the problem, because then you still have the problem that the people who killed John O'Keefe are going free, and we can't let.
Yeah, that's absolutely the issue. And I mean, listen, the as I've stated many times, I mean, there's so many holes in this case. Remember, people, a defense attorney's job is simply to create doubt. That's it. And they only have to do it in the mind of one juror out of 12. One juror to go, I'm sorry, this is not enough for me. There's too much bullshit here. All it takes is for one juror to be like, there's no way you're getting my vote to put this woman behind bars for the rest of her life. There's just no fucking way. I don't have enough. And there is so much beyond that. There's so much beyond that. I mean, it's just that simple. Now I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We'll pick this up. We'll pick this up either late tonight or tomorrow. I might do a late night stream tonight. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. If not, I'll pick it up tomorrow. But now we are go over and check out TurtleBoy on Making Law Simple. That stream should be starting right about now. But before I sign off, I want to tell you guys, I am absolutely so grateful for this this growth in my community from you guys who support justice for Karen Reed and justice for John O'Keefe, and justice for TurtleBoy, of course. So I want to be very, very clear that I am super grateful to you guys, and I'm so happy that because you guys have been nothing but awesome in my chat, and you've been nothing but supportive. You've been nothing but respectful. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for welcoming me into your community, and adding so much positive life into my community. So thank you guys so much. It really means a lot to me. You guys, I don't take one of you for granted. It's great. When I cover cases, it's rare that I cover a case and that I'm this passionate about it. And me being this passionate about this case means it just, the fact that I'm getting this much support on top of that just makes it mean that much more. And I really, truly mean that. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Again, thank you guys for all your support, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.